love it when you say this is all a play of light. It's somehow, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So easy, somehow light.
Yeah. Someone said that a few weeks ago as well. I don't know either. Something. Yeah, I like it. It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like how a lot of speakers say there's only energy. Excuse me, or aliveness, you know. For some it can really resonate, and for some it can really frustrate. Because like, what do you mean energy? You know, it's like, but it's the very fact that it's hard to conceptualize. Like energy is, it's not like saying God, all there is God.
Yeah.
Or all there is, and the more common one is all there is consciousness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a confusing thing to say.
No authority at all.
Yeah, so it's conceptually it's very hard to pin it down. You know, same. It's all a play of light. Like it's theater. You know, it's like it's the difference from feeling that things are real and things are really happening to me, and it's a subject-object reality, and everything is solid and real. And then when there's no you, it's a play of light, really, because light is energy. So it's a play of light, like the realness is gone out of it, and aliveness is being you there, smiling, and being the couch, and everything. It's a play of light.
Yeah.
I do like that.
No substance.
Yeah. It's empty actually, because everything is empty, because everything is nothing, and everything is just energy appearing as. You know that we know this scientifically. Like that's the way it is. Energy couching, energy glassing was energy, and we were talking a bit about this morning, about how there is some scientists now describing the human body as stored light. It's actually stored light. That's actually what it is. So light stored, just as a plant stores light, and everything stores light. It's a way of it's a very I can't think of who I heard say it, but these were real hardcore scientists now. This was not woo-woo stuff or tree hugging kind of. They were really they were going into they were really into their studies and saying it's just it's actually more accurate to say the human body is stored light. Energy, and that's that shift I was talking about earlier, seeing from the concrete and the Newtonian causal to more of a, it's actually energy. It's energy appearing as this, and how, you know.
And there's a headache and pain.
There's pain and a headache and the all embracingness of it. Like it's so all embracing. It's a thought that's unpleasant. It is the thought. It's a sense of sadness. It is the sadness. It's completely all embracing what we're looking for. And then it's kind of game over, really, in a way. Or it can be game over, because it can just be saying that there's actually just what's appearing to happen. Sitting, a thought, a sensation, an emotion, whatever. Sometimes that's pleasant, sometimes it's unpleasant. Sometimes there's pain. So what? Pain is aliveness. So it's the collapse then of this struggle, this agitation of wanting things to be different all the time. Why is there pain? Oh, gotta know the pain. What's causing the pain? What caused the pain? What can I do to not have the pain? Like there's just this energy of just continually kind of tweaking things and pushing away the pain and pulling in the pleasure. And that can feel exhausting.
I remember in Christianity schools they told us about God's love, and even there is no God, but it was at this moment, I know I was maybe 10 years old or so, as a child I had a feeling I instantly knew what the pastor meant by God's love.
Yeah.
All all embracing,
all
everything.
Encompassing, all embracing, yeah.
Everything's about it. Yes.
Yes, yeah. Beautiful, yeah. And it can be like that. It's like a child can hear something as it is, you know, without all the tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
And or even if the speaker doesn't know what they're talking about, which is I find very interesting sometimes. Someone can be in a role and they say something, but they think they know what they're talking about, and they've said something that lands actually with someone, and it's like, oh my goodness, but you think you know that, or whatever, you know. It just becomes very confusing for people. God, Jesus, consciousness, all of these terms, they're so loaded with meanings. Like, it's very much an object. Like it becomes like God is like. How can you talk about God without God becoming? Having some kind of concept of a thing called God, you know. But there is no thing called God. So that's why those kinds of words are. But like in your example though, it was just the energy of what was said was just like, wow. Yeah. Without all the kind of mental stuff, concepts and stuff. When I was in that kind of sense, that period apparently of kind of searching, you know, kind of feeling like me and not feeling like me, and listening to different things. Before I heard the Open Secret, you know, I went to a Zen Buddhist meditation where he crack you on the shoulder and it was all this shit. And he's in the robes, of course. And, so I did it and I was sitting there. Okay.
Got hit?
Huh?
Got hit?
Got hit? No, I probably would have fucking grabbed the skin. I don't know. I don't think he hit me, no. But I was putting on my shoes at the end and someone was asking him questions and he said, oh, there's nothing to know. And I just burst out laughing. I said, there's nothing to know. You know, I knew then I was never going to go back, but it was so obvious. He had an intellectual understanding that there was nothing to know, and he was locked into that sense of teacher. You know what I mean? But it was like, there is nothing to know. There's nothing to get. But yet, then we in this game of separateness, we like the dogma and the teachings and the ceremony and the robes and the stick and the meditate for 1 hour, and so all of that is just like an overlay then onto that. All obviously speaks to an individual.
Why do we like it so much?
Who can know that there's nothing to know?
I think as a child too, it's different. At school,
we like it so much because it speaks to us. So it verifies our reality, that we are somebody who can do something to get somewhere. So we will be drawn to whichever one we're drawn to. You know, someone might be Buddhism, someone else would be no interest, be something else. Yeah. As long as we're being fed, you know, as long as that reality of you is being addressed and you're being spoken to. So this kind of communication that we've had this afternoon, it's lead balloon stuff for most people. Because they feel, well, what's in this for me?
And as a child,
I'm not going to like it.
We already want to be fed, would you say?
Yeah, sorry, you said about child. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think the energy of feeling like a really solid you isn't so contracted.
Yeah.
So definitely, like at a certain point, there's an energetic sense of me and the world as a child. The first is me and the mother, you know, and I from what I read, that's often around 6 months. 6 months old, the baby kind of like, because if you think about when a baby's born, and in the womb, there's obviously no sense of separateness between, oh, I'm here and this is my mother's room. I better pay some womb, you know. I wonder if she's going to charge me rent. I wonder what it's like outside. You know, like there's just aliveness, logically. And then this incredible thing is like, it's like, wow, out of this nice warm place, and the cord is cut, but there's still just aliveness. There's still just, there's pooing, and there's milk, and you know, there's taking in nutrients, and complete dependence on the adult for protection, total and utter, like, and there's sleeping, and there's moving, and there's just aliveness. And then at some, they often say about 6 months, there's this, oh, who are you? Because you, the mother, is something like, you're not me, and I'm not you. But that's very, it's just a kind of an energy. And then that appears to kind of get stronger and stronger, and much more conceptually. It starts to be really kind of padded out. That you go to school, and by the time you go to school, it's like, oh no, you're living your life, and there are your emotions and your thoughts. And when kids go into school, one of the first things they do is they write down the opposites of things. You know, in school, most schools, good, and they have to fill in the gaps. So they write bad, light, and they write dark, special, not special. Mm-hmm. Because that's fundamental to our dualistic reality, is this, what's the opposite of this and that. And so, just in relation to your point, the child, I think that it's still, though, there's still this kind of childlike wonder, actually, that we can all kind of remember a bit. And so the game of me wasn't so fixed and solid, and then it just appears to, like, definitely the teenage years, there's chemistry, brain chemistry, or brain rewiring, and definitely then, when you're a young adult, like you're you then, and the game is on then, like it's right now into the world, you know, you have to make something of your life, and that's when we wonder, what did I just lose?
And it's a very hard time too for many.
It can be a very hard time, because it's very much like your identity thing gets ratcheted up. Like, who are you, and how do other people perceive you? And then that's a deadly game that gets really, like, that becomes really serious then. So a lot of that happens in adolescence, and then you're this so-called adult who's kind of, you're in the world, and we wonder, what did I really wondered, what have I lost? Because I had this sense of something when I was a child, of just like, you know, like just the wonder of everything goes kind of, whatever it was, like childhood wonder, or maybe causeless joy or something. And I kind of thought, how did I lose it? Like, because it's not there. And I really thought about it, like, why did I lose it? Or what did I do to lose it? Or, you know, and it's only when all of this kind of fell apart then, and it was seen, I never lost anything. And nobody ever loses anything. What happens is the reverse. It's the other way around. You gain something, apparently. And what you gain is you. So then there's this feeling of having lost something, because you start to feel more like you. So then the childlike wonder is not so... the staleness, we we're kind of talking about that earlier, it starts to become a bit more stale. And it's more... knowing, I know myself more, I know them, and there's more of a sense of repetition, And that's just different for everyone then, you know. And that's why like children have kind of a sense, can have a sense more energetically of things actually, because they're not so, it's not so solid, this kind of meaning maker thing that they
Kenneth, what about the voice in the head? What I had, and it creates sense of separation because I identify with that. Yeah, that labeling, that's good.
So the voice in the head is when there's a sense of separation, there's an energetic sense that it's your head, it's your body, and there's self-consciousness and awareness is an aspect, it's a feature of you. So it's a feature of you living your life. People generally report a voice, and the voice is like the narrator, the one who's kind of commenting on, and it's on what's appearing to happen, but not in some objective way, in a reflexive way of you. The voice in the head is all about you, because it's all about like, that's what we hit on, like I'm not enough, I'm never enough. Why did I do this? Why am I more this way and less this way? And very much a sense of unworthiness. It doesn't have to be like someone feels complete like I'm a piece of shit. They can actually even feel good about themselves and feel good at everything, but there's still a question underneath all of that. And the question really is, why have I lost? Why is there me? Why is there me and the world out there? So what did I do to lose wholeness? Now nobody would think about it that way, you wouldn't think of it that way, but that's kind of a way of describing. And in that unworthiness then, that's kind of the bedrock of this voice in the head that tends to be self-critical and always kind of finding problems with yourself and always reflexively about yourself. So what's being said here is actually that's not a problem, or it's not bad, or it's not good or anything. It's what appears to happen, and it's an aspect of the sense of you being real, being a real individual, and you're not actually, there's no you there. So when the sense of you just isn't there anymore, all of the energy of that voice in the head just collapses, because there's nobody to talk to, because the sense that you're talking to someone isn't there anymore. So they're just thoughts then. Instead of it being a voice in my head, there are thoughts, and the thoughts tend to just kind of, the thoughts are as they are. Doesn't matter actually if they're positive or negative, because there's nobody listening anymore. But when there's someone listening, there's very much an attention paid to the negative stuff, which confirms that I am actually unworthy, which just keeps the whole loop going. Me, yeah. It's the me show. Everything is about me, like everyone sits, like if we're in a room now, and if you hear this sometimes about people who are very shy or self-conscious, they think everyone's looking at them. Everyone's looking at me, and they can do if they were to go to a coach about it, the coach would give them the good news that nobody gives a fuck about you. As Nancy Reagan said, if you realised how seldom people thought about you, you wouldn't worry about what people think about you. Because people never think about you. They think about themselves in relation to you. But people who are highly self-conscious think everyone's looking at me and thinking about me. And it's an illusion, because everyone's just concerned with themselves, really. And then this is the big joke, is you're not there. There's nobody there. It's all energetic. There is no self there. It's an appearance, or it's a...
But the voice is creating the selfing.
I wouldn't describe it like that, because what happened, it's kind of like how people describe, for instance, people say to me sometimes, well, thoughts create the individual. And I said, no, it's not. That's what you're doing really is you're trying to find a kind of concrete beginning where this apparent individual starts. So therefore, like, it'd be the same as that perspective, that this self-talk creates the individual. And I think that's just a way of thinking to try and find some beginning or root source to the individual. And I would more describe the individual as an apparent energetic contraction. It's not ever real. It never started. So it doesn't actually start and it doesn't actually end. But when it appears to be there, it appears to be real. And it's not an idea. It's not a thought. It's not a concept. It's a really felt energetic sense of being in the body. It really isn't. People really feel that they're living their lives. And all that can be done in this way is to illuminate this, facilitate this conversation where there's a suggestion being made and the questions and the answers, and energetically it can be very obvious that there's no you there. And that's it really. But it's not like an intellectual obviousness or knowing, it's just a sense of, and really what that is then is a sense that, oh, there's actually just what's appearing to happen. And what's appearing to happen is whole, is everything. Is unconditional love actually. So that whole game of me and the world out there just is, it's finished, it's over. It can't really be reconstructed again. Because it was so energetic, it can't be put back together again. And the way that appears to fall apart is just the way it appears to fall apart for everyone. It's completely unique for everyone. Some people, that whole thing could be absolute torture. Complete torture. They might lose their job, their marriage, everything, and end up, and it could be train wreck stuff. And then, oh, okay, there's no me. Or it could be just absolutely insignificant, just the sense of separation is not there anymore. Oh, there's just what's appearing to happen. Complete non-event, nothing changes, no marriage breakdown, no job change, nothing, and just, it's just this, So that's the way it would be for that. It's just, there's no telling. It's heard as it's heard. It's just there's just what's appearing to happen. There's just energy. There's nothing to know about any of this. There's nothing to take away from this meeting. There's nothing to believe. Obviously nobody's been asked to believe anything in the last 2 days. And there's simply whatever's appearing, there's simply aliveness. So that sense of separateness and the voice in the head and everything, it will just play out like it appears to play out. Because all it is wholeness. You know. So maybe it's uncomfortable, I don't know. Maybe there's pain, I have no idea. But all of that would be just aliveness. We have more of a sense, like the individual will more look at it like, I want the voice in my head to stop chattering and then I'll be there. And then everything will be calm. And so logically that makes complete sense, because if this feels a bit torturous, it makes sense. And then the apparent individual will be drawn to a teacher or a method which tells you how you can quiet the voice in your head. And that might even appear to work for a while, but it's all within the loop of being me, because it's me trying to do. And the other possibility is that the voice in the head, no matter what's being said, is just aliveness. It's unconditional love, and if it's discomfort, it is the discomfort, and it's going to play out like it does.
to come to these meetings.
But there's nobody at the meeting, amazingly.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Like it's not, it's real and unreal, you know, it's real in its appearance, but it's just aliveness appearing as this gathering of bodies and speaking and it's not even really happening. And then everyone will appear to get up and and everyone goes we like what's being said really is what can appear to collapse is that sense that you're at the meeting finishes, you go on your merry way and you're moving away and you're doing that. Can just be it can be so obvious that there's just energy actually. And energy appeared to meet. Have it be a thing called a Kenneth Madden meeting. But there's obviously no real Kenneth Madden or a meeting. It's just energy appearing as that. And then that's when the fun starts. Really though, that's when the fucking fun is unknowing. But what you feel is you want to know everything and control and all of that. And you want your idea of full-on aliveness. But actually full-on aliveness is unknowable, and that's the danger. And the danger is full-on aliveness where anything could appear to happen. Because life is dangerous, because it's full-on aliveness. But the individual, energetically, is always going to opt for, can I have option A, please? Option A is my version of full-on aliveness, where I have control and I can kind of manage so that the bad things don't happen. You know what I mean? Or whatever, you know. And so that's knowing then. So that's the individual. Just stick with knowing then. Just stick with knowing then. If you want to stick with knowing, stick with fucking knowing. I don't care. There's no difference to me. There's nobody in there to do that or not do that. But the invitation is the same, that this is unknowable. It's so immediately just aliveness. Any knowing is just an abstraction of the way things appear or whatever. And then everything then is wholeness or unconditional love as a problem, not a problem, a thought, a chair. But, you know, there's nowhere to get to. Where are you trying to get to then? There's nobody to get there. There's all embracing aliveness. And that's what there is for everyone. Because there is nobody. Simple, huh? See, isn't it? It's so simple and so ordinary and so already what's appeared to happen that it appears to be hidden then. Isn't that beautiful? It's so beautiful. It's so amazing that the best way to hide is not by being obtuse and esoteric and really hard to get to, like in some cave in India that you have to climb a mountain and spend 50 years meditating. It's such nonsense. The best way to hide would just simply be already everything. What a great way to hide. Because you think it's not this, so then you go looking for it. And aliveness goes, okay, you want to look then, we'll fucking look then. Let's do some looking then, okay, what fun, huh? Hello, it's just this.
But now at the moment I'm wondering how much unconscious fear is involved in this process of clinging to thoughts and the future and so on, and security, the safety feeling.
It's a fearful energy, yeah. Fear is the default of the individual who, like a lot of things are fear-based. Yeah. Aggression is fear-based. Like people aggressive, they're in a state of fear, they're lashing out. It's a manifestation of fear. And really, you could say that agitation is a fearful energy. Like people are concerned about the end of their life, that they could lose their life, and they're concerned about what could happen to them and bad things that could happen to them from a world that's outside of them, which is dangerous, which is kind of trying to destroy them. And that's that lived reality of the individual. So that's why the individual, like naturally, the body survives naturally So if something comes, like a bus, the body moves out of the way, or a wild animal attacks, the body, you know, it's just, that's aliveness. But then this addition of me, there's this extra fear then of me losing my life, and this embodied fear that I would say is in that reality of being an individual. It's like the agitation and the fear. It's like an anxiety that's just what might happen. Do you know, like what might happen
if there's no control?
If there's no control, yeah. What could happen? Because anything could happen. Yeah. And then that's scary.
Yeah.
I like what happened? What, you know, and we do it in. But what if I go there with that person? Well, what if I say that? What if they laugh at me? And if everyone laughs at me, then I'll be humiliated. Do you know what I mean? We're constantly imagining and trying to protect this imagined thing called you. What if I'm humiliated? What if I get hurt? What if I want me? What if?
But this process is not in plain view, so to speak. So
it's sometimes, it's a little bit under the surface, and we play a game that we're not afraid.
Yes.
Because we put a face to meet the faces that we meet, to quote the T.S. Eliot poem. So it's like society as we see it is a game. It's obviously a game. And the game is there's certain rules to how you present to other people, because there are other people. So you downplay certain stuff, and you present the best version of yourself to what you feel are other people. And it's a constant game then of trying to I'm kind of trying to second guess what people think of you. So there's the neurosis can get really, 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 really bad. Because it's like continually, what's that person thinking about me? Are those people in that scenario? Or how will that behaviour be seen? And we all can kind of get a sense of that, you know. Of course it's different in different contexts and so on. And then we have the virtual self. So now the virtual self, if you have your virtual self and you're trying to protect and cultivate your virtual reality of how people perceive you because of the things you post online and the pictures and it gets more and more neurotic. And the big joke is there's nobody there. Like there's nobody thinking about you. Very obviously, because there's no you for them to think of. But thinking appears to happen. You know. So all of that collapses then. Or can collapse, you know. A lot of energies into keeping other people happy, or for what you think is expected of you, or for what, you know, it's all the games and they play out differently for everybody. You know? And it's very simple then, it's just a very simple scene that there is nobody. There's nobody else but life peoples. And they might actually talk about you. But you're a fiction. So they're talking about a fiction, you know, and they say Kenneth is this or Kenneth this, that. You know, when this appeared to happen and I heard people talk about Kenneth, it's like as if they're telling me a Peter Pan story. Like they're talking about a story that, as opposed to before then when they talked, it felt like they were talking about me. Do you know what I mean? Because I did feel like this thing called Kenneth. And that's the difference then. It's just stories. Equally the positive or the negative. Do you know what I mean? There's no interest in either. Whereas as an apparent individual, you kind of want it to be positive, and you're trying to align your energy to create that it's a positive, and avoid people having a negative idea of you or story of you or whatever. You know, some people also, obviously, some people feel like an individual, but they don't give a shit. You know, there is that energy to some people. They don't really play those games as much, and so you also have that. I'm just talking in a very general sense, obviously. it's madness. It's the madness of, oh, I wonder what that person thinks of me, and I wonder if they like me or don't like me. But actually what someone thinks of you is none of your business. It's just a thought. It's just, and it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, because both are fiction or a story.
So if you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, they're upset with me, and then a minute later they actually say that. They say, hey, you shouldn't have done that, I'm upset at you.
I'll tell you the difference now. If that exact scenario, if I felt like an individual,
Yeah.
and someone said that to me, say, Kenneth, I'm really upset at you.
And that confirms something you thought just a minute ago.
Yeah, but this is the difference. I can only describe it as best I can. So the way I would describe that is, someone would say, I'm really upset at you, you did this thing or didn't do this thing or said this thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a real sense here of, oh, I'm so sorry, I really shouldn't have done that. And now I'm going to learn from that and I apologise to you. And there's a realness in that. And the only way I can describe the difference would be that if someone said to me, Kenneth, why did you do that? That's really upsetting. You could not really even distinguish the response. The response would be the same. I've gone, oh God, yeah, you're right. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. The only difference I can describe is that it's seen that is aliveness. Assholing, as Kevin. And we're all fucking assholes. Like everyone is playing this game that they're a really good person and they don't have any. But we're all just flawed.
I'm an as-yearned.
Huh?
I'm an as-yearned.
Yeah.
Said, I'm okay, you're okay.
Yeah, I'm an as-yearned. Yeah. So aliveness appears as order and appears as everything being good and appears as disorder and chaos and hurt and pain and all of that, and it's gone the sense of me there. So it would simply be information, and it's saying, okay, yeah, no, actually, yeah, that was horrible. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry, and not even disingenuously saying sorry. I'm not disingenuous. I'm saying yeah, but it's like it's whole and complete. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's whole and complete because it's what's appearing to happen. So the part of it going, it shouldn't have been like that. It could have been another way. Why did I do that? That's all gone. That's just not there because that's dependent on you feeling that you really did something. Do you follow? Plus, that never happens with me anyway because everyone just loves me. If this goes on YouTube, there's a lot of people who are going to be laughing, going, oh, wow. He is one deluded asshole. Because I hate that fucker. Who cares, you know? That's the beauty of it. Who cares? I mean, there's nobody even... It's not even that someone... I don't care. It's that there's nobody here to care or not care. And people being angry at this character is energy. It's just appearing to happen. You go, okay. Maybe you take the information. You go, okay, that's a good point actually. That's a good point actually. Why did I do that? I say that. I have no idea. Do better, Kenneth.
But even that, there's not real learning or anything. It's just.
Well, no. There is, in a sense, I would say actually that learning still continues. Actually, yeah. But it's agendaless learning. You know what I mean? It's not like this learning that the things. Oh, there's a place to get to where I'm some better person. And then I'll be there. There's none of that. But they could still be learning and going, you're right, I do do that actually. Yeah, that's interesting actually. Okay, that's what's happening. And maybe that be like, won't happen. You know what I mean? There can still be all of that, but it's just, it's agendaless. It's not with a goal of...
Just not real.
Yeah, I mean, like aliveness just presents itself as information, and all sorts of things can appear to be learned or seen, or there can appear to be clarity, but it's just not. It's not for me, and it's not that it's not a sense that any of it's real, or that it's just it's energy as information. Huh?
Therefore, it doesn't.
Therefore, it doesn't matter exactly. That's exactly it.
Because I think the problem with being individual is that when you feel things are about you, and in that case everything is about you, but the problem is then it's attached emotionally, and so that's why it gets very exhausting, because because if you cover everything up with your emotions, or that's how I would describe it. So then it's what makes, I think, being a me exhausting, because it's very kind of, everything is sort of emotional, because it's about you. So
yeah, I mean, you're describing it very well, actually. I think, yeah, absolutely.
there's probably much more relaxation.
Well, yeah.
Maybe that's not the right verb.
There can still be neurosis, but it's not my neurosis, so who cares, you know? But I mean, it's I think exactly what you said is very, it's the meaning. You're the meaning maker. Like, we're all meaning makers.
Yeah.
So information is like energy. Aliveness presents is information, and when I'm me, I'm filtering the information, and I'm filtering it in a way that matches with my meaning maker model.
Right.
So something, we could be together, me and you are together, and something, we're walking, or some activity, and then something appears to happen. Your meaning maker will work different to mine, and you could come away with, oh, I'm really hurt by that, or that's really upsetting to me, and I'd be like, oh really? What happened? You know, because my meaning maker hasn't sifted the information in the same way, and everyone's is different, and so that's knowing. The sense of you is a sense of separateness, and knowing in which you're finding meaning in everything. And exactly like you said, it's exhausting, it's very tiring. But maybe you're not exhausted enough. Maybe the energy is so, it's not, you think you're exhausted enough with it, but if it really was, it would just be, it can all fall apart at any time. At any time, that whole thing can just be seen as, there's just what's appearing to happen.
But the other thing is that there's also a sort of enjoyment, that sort of I don't know what's the word, sort of
no, I
remember there was the clinging on being me, because some kind of masochistic enjoyment. I think that's the other thing that keeps it together.
Do you remember I said earlier, the me is just interested in being me?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. What you're saying there, that's how I would say that. That's exactly it. It's in the story, I feel I'm exhausted with me, I can't do me anymore, me. But me is enjoying being me, and me is enjoying being exhausted with being me. So then it's all just a loop that's appearing to go around, and all I can hear is someone say, oh, I'm exhausted with me, and I say, okay, that's what's appearing to happen then, because that's aliveness presenting as this sense of a separateness that's exhausted with itself. But that's why I keep saying over and over, what we're talking about, what's being yearned for, has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the way I'm this way, I'm that way, I'm too much this, I'm not enough this. It has nothing to do with you, because the sense of you is just interested in being you. That's all. And that's, when you say the enjoyment, that's what it's like there is that sense of continuing and keeping me going and keeping me alive. And me doesn't care whether it's miserable or happy.
Addiction is the word
Addiction, yeah. The me doesn't care whether it's miserable or happy, as long as it's me.
As long as it lives.
As long as it's a me, a miserable me or a happy me, who cares? And that's why one will play the other, it doesn't matter. It is addiction. Like addiction, like we were talking a bit about addictions today at different times, maybe not in the meeting, I can't remember, but the biggest addiction really is me. And that's always, in certain roles I was with people who were experiencing, different, alcohol, heroin, different strong addictions, and it's very clear that the bigger addiction is actually the individual, because they would actually address the addiction, but the drama was they couldn't drop the drama. Very common thing in what were we talking about? Iboga. And if someone does Iboga,
What?
Iboga is a psychedelic. It's a root of a tree found in Africa. It's been used for a long time in Africa, but it's very, very good at stopping addiction. It's got a certain substance in it that you can it can address your addiction physiologically very quickly, right? And what they find, the problem they have with it is the drama. So if they say if you come and your body is not addicted anymore, what will happen if you go back to the same house and the same estate, you'll relapse. And the reason you'll relapse is the drama. And it's all about the story of me. So a lot of people recognize that, and they know that if they physically get off, say, heroin or whatever, they also have to change the environment, because the environment is, and they would just describe that as environmental triggers. I actually see it as the story of who they are. It's a different way of seeing it. It's the me story, you know.
But they haven't rid of the primary reason why they
exactly, because the bigger addiction is me, and that's why you can address one addiction and then you go from that addiction to another addiction, and then you address that addiction, you're kind of swapping out addictions, because the root of it all is the sense of you.
Can't rid of the first one.
And this is the paradox. You can't get rid of you. Like, this is an impossible communication. It is so impossible, because you cannot get rid of you, and it's also the easiest, most straightforward, simple communication, because there's no fucking you. There's nobody there, so there's nothing to be done. So that's why energetically people can find this communication horrendously confronting sometimes, or sometimes it can be very easy, obvious that there's actually nothing to be done. You're like a plant. Your points are so good.
Like what?
A plant, like one. In English we see plant like.
Not sure how you mean it.
No, it's not an insult.
No. But
no, what I'm saying is, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have these meetings and someone puts up their hand and they ask a question, and it's like, oh, that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that. And then people say, oh God, they got someone to be in the audience and ask the perfect question. Because not even your question, the things you're saying, they're perfect. Because everything is perfect and whole and complete. I'm just having a bit of fun on that. But everything is whole and complete, because all there is wholeness and complete, and all there is oneness. So it's whole and complete, and it's fucked upness, and it's messiness, and it's confusion, and it's pain, and it's chaos, and it's all aliveness as that. So what we always have yearned for is completely inescapable, because it's never been anything but simply aliveness. I don't think I can kind of put it any other way. Well, it's been beautiful. Thank you to Simona for facilitating gorgeous 2 days.
Yes.
Am I too early?
Yeah.
What time
You
is
have 30 more minutes.
What do I? She shot me this strange look. Come on. I tell you what, I won't thank you at the end then. It was a premature thank you.
Are you tired?
No, not a bit. When there's this conversation, I feel very. It's an interesting sense of being energized by. I could be very tired coming into a meeting, and there's this. It's like,
yes.
because it's not about me, or and there's this it's a stunning conversation to me, because it's always new, and I don't know it. So it's as stunning. This conversation is always new and always as surprising to me as it is when I first heard the conversation. Do you know what I mean? So there's when it's just the only conversation, and it's there's kind of a boundlessness to it that's energetic, but also is not. When we have the dinner later, that's also it, you know. Because so in another sense, there is no meeting, you know. But it's always new and always new, because it's different to if I came to Prague speaking to you about a thing called Non Duality. Energetically, this whole thing would be very different, and people could experientially find it beautiful. Oh, it's really beautiful. I heard this guy talk about wholeness. But energy, it's a different energy. It's an energy of kind of understanding and knowing and being spoken to, you know. So I'm always amazed by this. But there's no agenda to even say it. But then the meeting appears to happen. You know.
So is this more spontaneous for you than talking about ordinary stuff? Like,
I kind of see it. I was talking to Tony once a few years ago. We were talking on the phone, and he said, I think I was telling him. He was saying, "What are you doing on the talks?" And I said, "Yeah, I was doing the hospice. You know, working in the hospice and working with people who are dying, and it was really interesting actually." I said, but. I just very clear to me that this is the only thing I wanted to talk about. And sometimes in the conversations, people were open to another possibility. So this possibility came out and said, well, maybe there's no you that's alive, there's just aliveness. So there's actually no death, you know. And it would be either there would be an openness and it would be wow, or it would just not. It was because death is a very energetically there can be a real closeness and because there's no agenda, whatever. But anyway, and I said it. I saw that this is the only conversation. And Tony said, "It is the only conversation," in the Tony way of saying just one word. And okay, thank you, bye. And it was like, fuck yeah, it's the only conversation. And that's the way I think of it now. It's like it really is the only conversation. So when you're having a conversation about the weather. It's like, yeah, it's about the weather, but it's not really, no conversations really. It's just energy as that. So in a way, this is the only conversation, really. You know,
yeah, cool.
That's the way. I know that sounds a bit abstract and everything, but it's just the only way I can kind of describe it. So there's no agenda here to talk about a thing called non-duality, because there's no such thing as non-duality. So there's either a question and this appears to come up, or there isn't. And it doesn't really matter. So someone could talk about, I don't know, like we were talking about all sorts of stuff, but it's all kind of blah, blah, blah. And we were doing geopolitics stuff and sorting out the world, but it's all just energy. Or I like golf, you know, and someone could ask me, golf, I could spend an hour, golf. But it's just all aliveness, you know. It's not like, let's not talk about golf. I want to talk about non-duality. Have you heard that I'm a bit of a big deal? I'm a bit of a nobody in non-duality. There's this thing called non-duality, so I'm going to steer you towards this, because the conversation about golf is just what's appearing to happen, and it's full and complete, and you know, yeah. And the other aspect to that is when there's a group of people together talking about golf or something, it's quite interesting. Like for me, there's another thing being said that they don't know, that they're pretending to talk about golf. 'Cause when there's a group together, there's something else kind of going on. It can be quite funny actually. But everyone is just in their role, you see, of all. You can see it sometimes in business or in their job, you know, this is an important meeting, and you know, everyone's okay. And you know, in relation to the moving this issue forward, and in Q4, what's your and so everyone it's theatre, and everyone goes, oh yes, I'm glad you asked me that. And it's also funny. And then sometimes I found like you could see someone and they might have this little smirk on their face, and they're like, this is all a fucking joke, isn't it? And then you smirk back at them and you go, yeah. And it kind of goes unsaid, you know. It's beautiful, yeah. Because it's all theatre. And everyone kind of knows that it's theatre, but they're a little bit, they just feel that they're lost in the game of being me, however that game is.
But isn't it that the society changed a lot in the decades? Like,
yeah, it appears to change, of course.
People were even more formal in history, I think. Maybe.
Oh, for sure. But the game it's kind of the same game, but the rules keep changing. You know what I mean?
More relaxing.
Yeah. Like I mean, like we were talking about narratives and protected narratives, but I mean, if you said stuff like people think, oh, it's getting worse, but that's also a story, because if you said things at certain parts of apparent history, you get your fucking head chopped off. You know, if you said something about the king, or you said the wrong thing to the wrong person. So the games were different then. And what you would do then is there was a really intelligent way of saying things without saying things. Pretending, yeah. And if you read some of these books of like the court, the games of the court, of the king's court, it's all this dance of kind of da-da-da. But the dance just appears differently then. It appears as, you know, X and what do you call it, Instagram and whatever. But it's the same energy, really. And there's not really like the linear sense of a history feels real, but it's obviously a narrative. And it's really obviously a narrative when you think about it. It's a story, but it's told in a way that the story feels real. And in a sense that things are getting worse, or things are getting better, or that the progress element as well. You know, we have a sense that we're making progress to our knowing, and we're much better now than we were 100 years ago or whatever, and we're getting closer to but it's all just a narrative.
Or the importance game, like political figures, celebrities, someone even paying a lot of money to be part of a club, like golf club or some special religion, you know, group. Just not to be alone, left alone. I want to be part of this, and we are all playing this importance game. It's true that celebrities, what they really know.
It's all empty, like it's so obviously empty.
Yeah, but then they're pretending it's not empty, it's really something special, important, but it is empty.
You sometimes hear the phrase, do you ever hear, in English it's quite common, like everyone is faking it. I don't know, do you say that in Czech, but in English it's very common, everyone is faking it. And when you realize everyone is faking it, it's all a game, you know. But when you're, it's kind of like when you're a child, you think that adults really have their shit together. Well, you're in your 40s, you really have your shit together. You've got a house, like you're in your 20s even, you're imagining, oh wow. But you're projecting on. And then you get to your 40s and you realize, oh my god, nobody ever knew anything. It was all just a game. Like, yeah, it's amazing.
And in the US they say, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, yeah.
Oh, but there are all sorts of games. There's also, like you said about joining the club, but some characters can also, like, there's also a game that I'm not joining anybody because I, so much wiser than anybody. So you know, kind of.
Oh, there's
what's the word? Kind of the game of, you know, solitude.
Yes.
That's the one I like as a.
That's your game.
Yeah, just in my own role.
Your
I
bubble.
think I know everything better than it's the game I enjoy. So I don't need anybody.
He's not coming to dinner, I get the impression. We're gonna be eating our dinner, and he's gonna be sitting on a table in the corner on his own, with his back to us like this. I don't need anybody.
Just be doing something very high and intelligent.
Yeah. I like your game. It sounds fun and a little bit lonely. I like the fact that you're like, no, you're not playing. No. I play on my own. You go.
There are innumerable possibilities of games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there. Of course. I mean, pick your flavor, you know. Pick your poison. Pick your whatever. And like the one you said there, it's kind of illuminates that thing, what we're talking about. Like I've said over and over, right? It's so simple, it's so ordinary, it's so like obvious that there's just this, there's just wholeness. But when it's not obvious, it's not obvious. Do you know what I mean? And it's frustrating for someone to hear, what do you mean it's obvious? It's not fucking obvious. Like I feel I'm sitting on this chair or whatever. But like it's like that thing of fame. Someone thinks they're important because they're famous, and they feel this sense of specialness, but it's very, very, very obvious that it's a story and there's nobody who's special, and it's empty. But if it's not obvious, it's not obvious. Because if I, listen to Jim Carrey talk about it, like he's interesting, the way it was seen there, that there's no Jim Carrey really, and you would imagine in a way that everyone famous would see like, who are all these people talking about? Because it's not me, that it's a game. But then it's not, because energetically their sense of separation is being so fed by, oh my God, it's Kenneth, he's walked into the restaurant. It's me, do you want a picture? You go on your way, go, you have a picture. And it's addictive, it's a sense. So then it's not obvious. It's amazing, yeah. You hear people talking about like that Hollywood felt like, and then it's so empty. It's just so empty, because everything is about optics. Everything is about the teeth. The teeth are perfect. The Botox. Yeah. Who are you? Who do you know? Who's your friend? Drop the name. But like you could sit back and say, obviously it's. But if you're drawn to that energetically.
Even the cavemen in the movies have nice hair and
yeah.
and trees now these days.
Yeah.
No, but the point is that as long as you are me, you can't obviously escape the game.
There you go, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Look, so if there's a sense of separation and fame is your thing, then fame is your thing then. So then energetically you're drawn to that. And whereas someone else would go, fame is empty, but then the game can be played differently then, it doesn't matter.
But whatever game, but you as a me, you always play some game.
Yeah, and games can still appear to go on. Yeah, but it doesn't.
Yeah, but you don't.
It's just you're not doing it.
Seriously.
So, yeah, it's just what's appearing to happen, whatever. Yeah.
Like a theater, but not.
Yeah.
So,
it is theater. Like it is the difference between if you go to a theater and you're sitting there and there's actors on the stage, and you get so engrossed in it that you're like, oh, and it's so real, and then this guy kills this guy, and it's like, oh jeez, oh my God, because you're lost in the theater, and you forget that you do know he's acting now. So or like a movie, people often use that analogy. They turn on the TV and the movie, and it's Jesus, and then if you had a picture of you, it's like a box and light pixels, and you're like, oh. It's amazing when you think about it, and nothing has obviously happened. Well, nothing has happened. But you've gone on this roller coaster ride. It's because it's real. So in that sense, like the individual, that's what I mean, like is that everyone knows what I'm talking about here. I don't really mean intellectually knows, but because you are already a wholeness, it's completely known what we're talking about. But the sense of being a you kind of overlays that, and that knowing is kind of suspended. In the same way of watching a movie, you're lost in the movie, so you as an individual, you appear to be lost in the sense of you. And then this isn't wholeness then. This is kind of boring, to be honest. Or it is what it is, but it's not. It's kind of it's on to the next thing and on to the next thing. And it's just, it plays out like it plays out. Maybe till you die. Maybe till the body stops functioning, and then there's liberation.
At least there is some hope.
Yeah, the hope is that you're going to die. Yeah. I'm glad you see, you are a plant. You paid him to be here. He just brings everything perfectly up.
At least something to hope for.
No, exactly. It's a lovely finish to the talks, really. This is a hopeless communication, but in the end, you are going to die. So there is always that. So it's not desperate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now thanks to Simona too.
No, sorry. Formally thanks, Simona. I got my timing wrong. I gotta work on the timing. Like a musician, I gotta get my timing right.
Thank you guys for being
No, thanks
here.
so much. It was lovely. You kept emailing me and kept saying you got to come over, and I was like, I was very happy to come. And thanks so much. It was a beautiful 2 days. Actually, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Because someone asked me yesterday. You were asking me, the numbers matter for you? And I honestly don't care in the sense of the communication is just the communication, whether it's 50 or 100 or 10, and it's just beautiful. It really is. When there's that curiosity, it's just that curiosity, and there's that interest in what we're talking about. So that doesn't depend on how many people are there, because it doesn't matter. It was really lovely. Yeah. I would rate it up there in my top meetings. I'm going to go home and put a score beside it. The meetings that never happened.
Yeah.
Go in peace.
Yeah, go in peace. May the Lord be with you. I can send you all on your way now. If you want a hug, though, it's extra. I'm sorry. I'm like Amma. I have my bowl here. If you want a hug, you gotta pay up.
Even the church bells was perfect.
Yeah, in the
Church was ringing.
Well, a bell is a beautiful sound because, as we were saying earlier, like it's born, its death is in its birth. The sound of a bell, it is and it isn't.
Ah, yes.
Because it's over. The ear feels it begins and it ends, but it doesn't really. It's there and not there. It's an interesting sound, yeah. That's why the bell. That's why that sound is very, very used in lots of spiritual stuff and religions. It's kind of this is it. Ding. Ding. And no, seriously, it does have that kind of quality to it.
But you hear more than sound, vibration from this sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of felt, yeah. In Ireland we have that, I don't know, here, do you have here, if someone dies, do you have a different bell? And it's the slower tempo, which is interesting.
Your body can vibrate with it.
Yeah, your body, like, it's very powerful at a funeral. At the end of the funeral, it's very powerful when the bell comes and it's ding. And it's the pause that gives it power. Yeah. Because if you think about it, the pause illuminates the apparent bell because it's nothing and everything. So it's boom, boom. So it's, it's because everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And that can be musically kind of ding. Yeah. A good musician, like a really good musician, they will talk about how it's as important what I don't play. Because what I don't play says as much as what I'm trying to say is what I do play. And that's really what they're doing, is it's interesting. Alright, end of talk.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Yeah, great to see you.